It's like I feel somebody over me or something.
I'm just gonna start recording right now.
Like when I try to go to sleep, I'll fall asleep, but it's always like somebody. It always feels like a presence. And until I take this melatonin, the 12 milligram, that's when I fell asleep. I had to listen to Rosie Thomas, which I should play some music in the background while I have this conversation. I had to play Rosie Thomas to go to sleep. But there was one instance with a person that I used to talk to and be romantic with. And she kind of just stopped talking to me. She ought to go through these quick spells of, oh, I want to talk to you, and then she would get like, I guess, nervous, have these anxieties of feeling like clustered, and then she would just stop talking to me. There wouldn't be no reason, there wouldn't be no nothing. I just had to accept it. So one time we started talking for a long time. I had an astral projection which was spontaneous, but in the astral projection I was able to gain control and mobility over the astral body, which usually, like, you get control, you can only go so far, you come back. I got to go really far, so I made it. It seemed like, okay, the way density works in that state, it's not like for example, we say I want to go to McDonald's, and we go walk to McDonald's. You actually walk to McDonald's. In that reality, it's different. If you say you want to go to so and so's house, and you're literally moving forward, but you're starting to move forward in density, not just in space. It starts to change in dimension. You start to raise higher the more you get more awareness and mobility and control. So instead of it's like you're moving past a geometric field as you're going forward. Let's say you're going forward, you're at another density. Things change. You may see plants that have animal shit now. Okay, that wasn't there before. You're still going forward. You may see a ball of the ocean that's in the sky somehow. It doesn't even make sense, and a dragon flying out of it. You're going through densities. I don't know how that's happening, where that vibrational reality is coming from. But anyway, I found her house, and she was on the porch reading this book about...
Wait, you're saying in the astral plane?
Yeah, I found her. I thought about her and I found her. I found her house, or what represented her house. And she was on the porch reading. And her kids were like, her daughter and her son was like in the front yard playing whatever. And I wasn't myself. I was like this creature. Like, cause sometimes you astral project. If you look in the mirror, which there's a lot of people have said this, when you look in the mirror, you may see something else. You may not see yourself. You may see a different entity altogether. And then one time I looked in the mirror, I seen a demon. I grew horns on my head and wings. And I saw the actual shadow of the wings, like as if I was in the physical. But in this day, I was that creature with the wings and horns. I was not this person. I was that thing. And I put my hand on her head. And in my mind, I put the vibration of, I want you to, I don't really know, it wasn't like words, it's more like intuition. I want you to feel me some kind of way, to where you don't understand why you're feeling a presence of me, but it's gonna make you want to contact me. She contacted me. It was nothing but like 2 days later or something like that.
So, like, are you suggesting like this? Because I've never astral projected, but like, are you suggesting that like the astral plane is like some kind of in betweener, like something in between, like, I guess living and death and the afterlife or some shit?
I think like it's so unexplainable, but if I had to put it in some kind of like rational terms, I would say like it's like, let's say it's like a place where everybody can meet or something like that. Like if you're dead, you can go there maybe. Or maybe if you're not aware that you're dead or something. I think some people are not aware and they get lost in the astral, and they create a reality based on the reality that they remember. That's why I say some people.
It's like Lost.
Yeah.
like almost like season, what was it, 6?
Yeah, I think it could be like that. I think that's where they kind of, they're not far off. That's why when I seen that, I said that's not far fetched. It's not far fetched at all. That concept, not far fetched. They kind of know something with that. But that's
By the way, I got you on the night vision right now, crystal clear.
Awesome.
Which is terrifying because I can't even see it with my ordinary eyes.
But yeah, she called me and she was the person I said that I was sleeping next to, and Maggie had said this too. She felt me like shaking. She said, "Babe, you're shaking, but you're not shaking.
Yeah.
Like and that word will be vibration. You're feeling a vibration from a different place. You're not feeling it. You're not feeling a physical vibration. It's a vibration of the state that's around us, the atmosphere. And when a person vibrates, it's like a magnetic field or some shit like that. It's like it will spread, and that vibration can rise. And that's what happens when you astral project. You feel like you're stuck, and you're like paralyzed. So you wake up out of nowhere and you can't move. That's a good sign. Even though it can be horrifying and have sleep paralysis and all that stuff, and imagery could happen, and you can see some, like, a lot of times I've seen a cat. Like, I wake up and it wouldn't be sleep paralysis. It'll just be.
Shit, we just saw the fucking cat in the goddamn parking lot.
It'll be a cat like laying in my bed, and I would be like, what the? And I would like kind of nudge it with my foot, and the cat would jump off the bed and jump right through the wall. Yeah, that's the lesser of scary things I've seen. The cat's not a bad thing to see. Or I used to see this little girl. I've seen her twice with the glasses. I'll wake up and I would look the other way. I'll be in paralysis. I would look the other way because I would be scared that if I looked at her too long, she would turn and look at me. But she was always looking up at the mirror that I had on my chester drawer, or something, whatever you call it. She'd be staring at like she was looking at her own reflection, but she was like crouched. That same table that's right there, the white table, she was crouched under that table. She was small enough to be crouched to fit under that. But she had to be like 12 or something like that. And she had glasses. Thick glasses on. She had long black hair. She would just look at her, and twice I seen that. And I never seen her again. Maybe I seen her again in a different form. Maybe that was it. Maybe she was somebody that was passing by. I think that the deceased or an astral, and maybe they're aware, maybe they're not. They pass by. You can come in contact with them. Like, man, there's so much stuff I can get into with the. But when it comes to like when we first started this conversation, when it comes to like maybe kind of how like Inception says you can maybe manipulate people's choices.
Right.
I believe that's definitely true. Thought and vibration, you can already manipulate the way reality and the outcome of realities happen just with thought. If you have a powerful thought and a powerful emotion behind it, usually it's an unconscious thing. It's something that we don't have to try to do. We can create reality. Like I said, you're thinking about somebody.
Right.
Or whatever. Why am I thinking about this person?
Like they can feel you
Yeah, they may feel it.
thinking type of thing.
I think some people are more prone to be connected to that than others, of course. They're more prone, they can feel it. They'll call you and say, hey, you okay? Because I kind of got like a bad feeling. Well, how do you know? I was thinking about you. Wow, I'm not that okay. That's crazy. Something like that could happen. I had a dream that you were pissed off, punching the wall. Well, that's crazy. Shit, I was just at work thinking about punching the wall. I didn't. Damn. Like, shit like that happens. Like, people are connected.
I do remember one time when I had like a dream about McDonald's in a certain way, and it happened like that in reality. I swear. I swear. It only happened once, but it freaked me out,
Oh yeah, that's definitely a sign.
Because it's like, I don't think dreams are just purely this random result of beautiful randomness, chaos.
No, I don't think it is either.
From our biological makeup, I think it's.
And that's dream levels. Like once you learn your dream pattern, you get levels of dreams. You get your sleep cycle, and you understand your sleep cycle. You can go to sleep, like we're about to go to sleep, and then you have like regular dreams. You may remember a lot, you may not. I come to the point now, like I said the other day, I'm dreaming again like I was when I was a kid. So I'll have all these dreams, and those will be these random, like just random, sporadic, maybe influenced by thoughts I had throughout the day, or whatever. those would be those kind of dreams.
Right.
I'll get through those, write those down, whatever, even if they're stupid. And then I go back to sleep. And that's when this different cycle happens. And if I pay attention to the way I'm falling asleep, hallucinations happen behind the eyes that I'm not controlling. I'm not creating these hallucinations. Like the other day I saw these flock of birds. I know I'm laying down looking at the darkness of my eyelids. My eyes are closed. I know where I see light while my eyes are closed. There's no light. But I start to see light. And then as I was staring through the light, without trying to move or control anything, you have to let go. You have to let it take over. That's when I saw these birds flying, like in unison, like crows. And I'm like, wow. And I spent a lot of time with. I think you can really consider that like a form of remote viewing.
Astral projection.
They're all in the same category. Remote viewing, I would explain it as you don't leave your body, but your perception leaves your body.
Right.
The point of perception leaves your body. But when you actually leave your body, it feels like something physical is happening. It's not like you're just going into a dream. You feel like, and I say the best way to try to do it a lot of times is, you can try to do it when you're tired, but most of the time you're just going to fall asleep. It's when I wake up.
So it's like astral. Okay, so I've never astral projected, and this is all melting my mind. But so astral projection. That's like when I'm falling asleep, and while I'm falling asleep, I'm supposed to like imagine myself, imagine myself going to sleep, but then simultaneously imagine I'm going to sleep, imagining my body's been paralyzed, but then simultaneously imagine like stepping out of your body spiritually, if you will, and like walking around and stuff like that.
That's one way to do it.
Until like your body drifts off to sleep, but suddenly your spirit, if you will, is outside your body.
Yeah, it's like trying to stay awake as best you can. It is one way to do it. Try to stay awake as best as you can.
Or trying to like keep your mind lucid, but like let your body fall asleep, and somehow make it so that your body went to sleep, but like your mind is lucid, and suddenly you're like, wait a second, my body's asleep and I'm outside my body. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds insane. I mean, we've been watching videos about astral projection. It's insane that like this is about to be like a big astral projection video.
Oh yeah, definitely. It just turned to that. And it feels like me
and Dom are working on a project that we can't describe at all. Well, that we can't talk about at all, except to say that you could say that astral projection has a touch in storytelling.
Oh yeah.
Well, we've been talking about astral projection a lot, and hot skiggity frog, hot skiggity dog.
Well, astral projection, a lot of time it feels like you're trying to.
But my thing is, how is it like not? What makes it different from how you differentiate between like a dream and astral projection?
You'll know. Believe me, you will know. You will know. It may scare you at first. You will know, because like I said, it's like you're trying to run away from like a vacuum pulling you back to your body. It's like you can't get out. It's just like you're trying to struggle to get just one. Like when you're in sleep paralysis and you're trying to move your hand, once you finally move that hand, you're not moving your real hand, or your body's hand, or your flesh. You're not moving that. You think you are. But once you will take a second to just maybe calm down. That's why I say sleep paralysis is almost one of the best ways to get into astral projection without all those.
I mean, I never really have sleep paralysis. I guess there's like a way to induce sleep paralysis, but I've never really had it personally.
Let's say like if you're about to fall asleep now, when you go in there and fall asleep, just make your body just as limp as possible. Like, but you gotta be comfortable. You can't be like, fuck, I want to move my leg, and then like just be comfortable as possible. And just let loose of all your muscles. Don't have nothing's tightened. Okay. Even in your face. And after a while, if you're not focused on your body anymore, and that's why they say focus on breathing. It's not just a meditation thing, even though it has a lot to do with meditation.
Right.
But you just focus on your breathing. You're focused on something. You're like, okay, after a while, you're not even focused on your breathing. It's just naturally that you're breathing that way. Next thing you know, you forgot all about your body. You forgot about wanting to swallow your spit randomly or wanting to move your knee because you started to feel that little itching, and you forget all about that. Next thing you know, unbeknownst to you, you slipped into a state.
Right.
Without even knowing. It's just like, sloop, you just went from one state to the next. And now you can probably set up. And sometimes it's hard to know whether you're sitting up in your body or you're sitting up out of your body. Like you're sitting up with your body out. There's been times I got up out of the body and I was like, wait, I'm up for real. I didn't do it.
Damn.
And I'm like, wait a second, I kind of felt a little lighter. Because my thought that I didn't do it for real, I got up like regular.
Right.
There's been times I woken up in the bathtub, and I thought like, why am I in that bathtub? And I know when I realized that all this crazy static started happening, like the room started shaking. I'm like, wait, what the? And I realized I was out of my body.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah, I woke up in the bathtub, like cradled in the bathtub, and then like got up and like some reason the water was running. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I fall asleep in the bath. Oh, this one time I woke up. I don't know what these are. I don't know if I can call these astral projections or slipping in between states of memories that you haven't had yet. Like, and this memory did happen. Okay, but I woke up and I felt loopy, but I had no recollection of how I got into. I was in the car, driving Maggie's car. I had no recollection of how I got in the car, but I felt like I was swerving. I was driving a little too fast. Okay, 2 days ago, I was driving and I noticed the way the sun looked. I noticed the way this truck was on the right of me. It was basically the same thing, and I felt that kind of like that fogginess, that same fogginess I felt when I had that experience, and I was driving, and I felt like the car kind of like it felt like it lifted up. I was driving so fast.
Right.
I was like, I need to slow down because I'm feeling the same way I felt in that dream, or whatever that was, whatever that state was.
What?
Because in that state, I felt like I'm here. Like, how did I fall asleep? That's what I thought. How did I fall asleep at the wheel for 1 second?
Right.
But I didn't. I could have flew backwards out the car if I was more aware. If I was aware, I could have flew out of the car, and would have astral projected way beyond where I was, and maybe I did astral project to a future moment. I didn't know it. Let's say like if I astral project and I read that note that you put in your closet, I may astral project and read it 3 days from now.
Yeah, he still hasn't read it. In case you were wondering, he still hasn't read it. But in fairness, it's been busy, motherfucker.
Last time I astral projected, I went straight out that to the right, straight out.
Straight out.
Because here is something different. There's this loud, high pitched noise. I don't know what it is, and it feels like something's coming. Like it's getting closer and closer. I can't even try to reproduce the sound, but it's a noise that I can't even explain. But it's really high pitched, and it's like it's coming from something. It's not like it sounds like it's just a musical note, but it's like once it gets closer, you can hear the tone of some kind of being. And I'm like, no, I'm out of here. And the last time I astral projected, I had no time to think. It was just I rose up because I kept slipping in and out of it. And the first time it happened, I tried to scream because I was in sleep paralysis. But then I realized, I was like, wait, this is time to do it. I'm in that state. But I didn't think about going that way because I heard that pitch, I heard that sound. So I rolled out of my body and straight out the patio. I was gone.
What?
I didn't want to stay in the darkness.
So you're saying when you're in the astral plane, like you know that it's not a dream. You know that somehow you're in some altered state where you're not in a dream, but you're awake. You're outside your body in some spirit form that's tethered to your body.
And you can consciously put yourself in lucid dream the same way you put yourself in astral projection, but you'll know the difference.
Do you think maybe like this soul or spirit, if you will, is like a patch of your consciousness, like a piece of your consciousness extending out, tethered to your main consciousness? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that too. I think that we send a piece of ourselves out sometime. I think maybe it's not the whole us. Yeah, it's like we're sending.
I
Like
mean, that's just fucking insane, but, I mean, it's late enough that I'm willing to go down to Swaggerville.
Yeah, when the day you astral project, you're gonna wake up different. You're gonna, I can't even say wake up because you're woke when it happens. You're just not woke in your body.
Right.
You're woke. You wake up. You just like it's not. That's how it's not a dream because you wake up. It's not like you just were unconscious and you had a dream that you astral projected or you left your body or something like that and it was just so real. No, it's so real to where it's like this and even more real than this. I heard a lot of people say that, but it really is like more real. And another thing.
You're saying that when you're in the astral plane, the sensation of it feels more real, like how right now it feels real, like it's actually like happening.
Mm-hmm.
But you're saying like in the astral plane, that feeling's even more intense.
Yeah, let's say if you wanted to eat like I tried a piece of fruit that does not exist in the astral plane, and it was like this plant animal, and the plant you can pull the fruit off the animal, and I bit into it.
Damn.
Which I rarely get a chance to do, is eat and there was a time I was in the astral realm and I went so far. You know how they talk about like a river of gold and shit like that?
Yeah.
And to remind you, to add, I don't pre-think about these things. I'm not there in the astral realm saying, I want to see a river of gold that leads under a canyon and goes to like a terrain, and I go out through the cave and then I end up in a field of like the most greenest grass, high grass, and there's a house on the top of a hill, and you go into this house and there's people making food, and you go out of I go through the house and I'm looking like, and it's almost like how they say you're in like one of the most loving places, you're feeling the most love. And when I went to the back, there's this hill. Okay, you remember like where they filmed Lord of the Rings, like New Zealand and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that, like all these hills and mountains, and that's what I'm looking at. And I go, and remember I told you I talked to the Asian girl with butterfly wings? I don't know if I told you that.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
She said that she chose to look that way. It's almost like if you're in Fortnite and you're talking to people online and you're asking them how their avatar look. People were like 8 feet tall with animal heads and parts. And some people look regular. Some people were like what? It's so many things that I saw. It was overwhelming because I couldn't wake up and write it down. I couldn't wake up and reiterate the experience in a way that did it justice. It's just I remember it. I remember talking to her and I remember exactly what she looked like. If I seen her walking down the street, I would be like, no, I would have to stop her and just kind of like, try to, not sound crazy and at the same time try to get a confirmation.
Right.
But she told me in the astral realm that she chose to look that way and that all these people that were there were, in a sense, real. They're just, maybe they're from somewhere else. Maybe they're dead. Maybe they're from a different time.
Yeah.
Time is not relative. There is no relativity of time. There's no linear way to measure this thing called time that doesn't exist. So to think of a world without what time is breaking the barrier of density altogether. That density is snapping. I mean, there is no way to measure, or should I say, there is no way to put a limitation. Only limitation is what you think and feel, more so what you feel. If you feel this joy, you're going to vibrate that.
Right.
If you feel something else, you're going to vibrate that. You're going to attract that, just like it is here. But it's on a different scale with more rules. You jump off a building, you fall. That's a rule. It's just going to happen. And it's reality. You jump off a building in the astral realm, you fall if you believe you will.
Ooh.
Just like in a lucid dream. You believe you're going to fall, you're going to fall. I can't fly. I can't fly past that tree. I remember I used to have these dreams where I couldn't fly past a certain point. I would fly and I knew it was coming, so every time
I never had that.
I couldn't fly past, like I wanted to go to space. But in 2 until I met this family in a lucid dream. There was a woman, and it's like they let me join their family. It's like this dream went on for like 2 days because I slept in the dream. And she taught me that if I just simply just believed on how I wanted to fly or what I wanted to do, I had to feel it and believe it. I couldn't think like, oh, I might get stopped. I will get stopped. She told me to believe. And she was teaching the kids too. We both, like this one time I flew so fast, I went into a city. I don't know if this was just like a city for real, or I went from dream to remote viewing state, but I was no longer
Damn.
I was no longer a physical being. I was flying so fast that I was not physical anymore. I was able to go through cars and go through people's, like the electrons going through their mind and go through buildings real fast. Like I was going so fast that it's like everything turned white.
Damn.
I remember like in that same dream I was like, I can't explain it, what you call these things, like in the country where those tractors, you know how they got those tractors and stuff, and they're like taking the hay and whatever you call those things.
Yeah, I think I know what the machines are talking
Instead of those machines, it was like these floating robots that were picking up the hay and like with their arms and putting it inside the machine, like and floating. It wasn't touching the ground.
Like just floating just
Yeah.
above, like attending to the hay and.
This was a normal thing. This wasn't like, and I felt it was a normal thing, even though I was lucid. And I got on the bus.
Right.
I didn't get to go far when I got on the bus. Cause you know why? Cause I had that feeling like I'm going to wake. Maybe I should wake so I can write this down. Sometimes you get in a lucid dream, you have to wake yourself up at a certain time because you're gonna go so. There's been times I went so far and I don't even remember small details. When I have these experiences now, I'll let myself stay in the dream for maybe, I don't know, just long enough to do some cool shit and maybe go deep. I usually now don't just start flying. I don't do that. I try to stay on my feet. And there's a reason why what dreams may come. He said, try to keep it a little real. I used to always wonder, like, why?
Oh yeah, to keep it more grounded.
I used to be like, fly. But now I'm like, because if you lose yourself, the dream will deteriorate and implode, basically. You will implode within the dream.
Yeah. It's like in Inception.
Yeah.
And seeing what Ellen Page and Leo, seeing when she gets emotional, he's like, this is your first lesson in dream sharing. And she gets emotional and the place erupts.
Exactly.
From her emotion. That's why it erupted.
Exactly.
Shit, that's what Elon Musk would say. That's why it erupted. That's why it happened.
Dude, and just for more conversation, it's sparking the energy of the room. It's putting that out there in manifestation type form.
Yo, people are gonna be watching this and they're gonna know. And when they finally see that creative project, they're gonna know. And they're gonna know.
No, are you gonna produce? Are you gonna like put this out?
Shit, I think so.
You should.
No, I should 100%.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of people out there.
Well, I mean, we've been dabbling talking about this on the channel a little bit, but this is sort of going full tilt talking about it.
There's so much things I could talk about. Like when I was at my girlfriend's house and I had sleep paralysis, and before I even went to sleep, I was kind of like, getting to that state where I was getting tired and I wanted to lay down, but I kept hearing knocks.
Yeah.
Like knocks like. And I'd be like, did you hear that knock? And she would like, stop it. I'm like, no, for real. Like, did you hear that knock? I heard it like 3 times. So when I went to lay down that night and go to sleep, we all lay down and go to sleep.
Yeah.
Sleep paralysis happened. Almost immediately. And I was screaming my head off because I heard a person walking.
What?
And I was just like, in that state of being, I guess, in that consciousness or being stuck inside my body.
Oh, like sleep paralysis?
Yeah, I was screaming, like literally like, ah. But to her, she woke up and heard me just going, moaning. Because the screams was reaching to the physical. And I was screaming through the physical in the form of moans whilst screaming in the conscious spirit state. While trapped in my body, knowing that something's coming. And it was the fear. It was that fight or flight type of fear because it was a natural reaction. And if I had calmed down and was more aware, I would have tried to get out of my body. I've gotten out of my body around people a lot of times.
Around people?
Yeah, like you will see things that maybe I think that's off their energy, that they're not even aware of. I can go through many stories about that, what people will call like demon leeches or stuff like demons leeching on people, and then they can come leech on you, but people are unaware of it, shit like that.
Oh shit.
Like how you feel like you may be around a person that's kind of like negative, but you're around them, and if you go to sleep or have experience around them, you may see different things. Like I had experience with a girl I was dating who was kind of fucked up on drugs, but she got so fucked up one day, and I kept waking up. I was hearing her doing different shit. And this is when I first met her, so I didn't really know like what she was doing. Like, I knew that she did like some pills and shit like that, but I didn't know it was like to that extent. She's like, "Oh, I'm taking a shower." I'm like, "Shit, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, but okay."
Right.
I wake up again, it'd be like 4 something. She's like, I just can't sleep, and she's like walking around. I'm like, damn, like, and I kind of feel like awkward at people's houses, especially when something like that's happening. I'm not used to being there. It was like my first time going over there, which should have been my last, but that's a whole different story.
Damn.
And I went downstairs to ask her what she was doing, and she was just fucked up. You could tell immediately. You could tell from the back of her head she was fucked up. Her eyes is barely open. She's eating a big ass bowl of cereal. I mean, huge bowl of cereal with mixed cereal. Like, I don't remember what the cereal was, but it was different cereals.
Right.
And she says some shit like, and that's why it reminds me. You know that movie called that whack ass movie called Mora or something like that. It's about sleep paralysis.
I think so.
Horrible movie though. But she said something like that, and that's when I saw the trailer to that movie years later. This was like 4 years ago. And I seen the trailer to that movie. I was like, maybe they're on to something, because she said some shit like, she started talking to herself, like as if she was having a conversation.
Yeah.
And I, instead of interrupting her, I started, because I'm interested in this shit, so I just listened to her. And then she said, they're telling me that I have to kill you. Which did kind of freak me out, because I was like, hey, I may have to choke her ass out or something, because she may try to stab me when I'm sleeping or something. That could happen.
Right.
I don't know her like that all the way. This is when I didn't know her all the way. Whether she's fucked up or not. She could have opened her mind to some other shit, because she claimed to have, this is a whole different story. She's, and I believe her. She said that she had like this medium type connection. Like her gift was like, she can get around somebody and I know her. She would get these feelings, intuition in her head. And it would be like, to her it would come in the form of words. And she would have to tell them things. So I don't know why I gotta, something's telling me to tell you this. And they'd be like, what the fuck, how'd you know that? That would happen to her.
Yeah. And
my gift, of course, is astral projection. And I guess sensing when things are in people's houses. Like, I can sense, like, the energy's different. It feels different. Like, I can't really explain it, you just know. You know when you need to get the fuck up out of there. You know when this is a great place. Like something happens to the energy of the place. Like I feel like I could just lay down and relax and meditate.
Right.
And that same house, it felt like that before. It was like angels were walking through the house.
That's how it feels right now. I feel like I could just.
Yeah. It feels like that now. But that day, I said, okay. She said that something told her that she had to kill me. I said, why? She said, oh, because they said you know too much. I said, okay, that kind of makes sense. And I was like, all right, I'm going to try to astral project. Bless you. I said, I'm going to literally attempt. And I was hyped up because I said, it was like a fucking movie. It was like, I got to astral project because I want to see maybe if, and I don't want my mind to influence. I was kind of thinking maybe my mind will influence it, because now I'm thinking of what she said and thinking, what if there was something that she is totally unaware of.
Right.
So when she snapped out of this high that she had, she didn't remember saying that.
What the fuck?
But
Jeez.
I laid down. We both laid down. She was next to me. She finally was asleep. And it was in the early morning time, like the sun about to rise. Perfect time to astral project, by the way. The natural energy from the sun coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. You can use that energy. I did successfully astral project.
Like that relaxation, I guess.
I don't know what it does. Like that's why it's always my perfect time to astral project. Like when I go to sleep tonight, or now in the morning, I'm gonna go to sleep for a few hours. I'm gonna wake up. The sun's obviously gonna be up, and then I'm gonna lay back down and try to astral project. Or lately I haven't really been trying. I've just been trying to get sleep. and which will result in some good ass lucid dreams.
Right.
That those will happen. Most of the time, I will lucid dream like this. It may be like 3 days out of the week that I don't. But
Right.
substance has a lot to do with stopping me. Like if I smoke, with me personally, if I smoke, it may have a REM sleep rebound, like they say, which I started researching this because I used to smoke a lot more than I do now.
Mm.
It will have that rebound. That's if you get enough sleep. When you smoke, if you sleep at least 8 or 9 hours, you wake up for a little bit, you go back to sleep. Your dreams will just, all that REM sleep will just come flooded in because you missed it at the first part of your sleep because of the substance of marijuana. Alcohol cuts it too. But since I haven't been drinking or smoking, they're doing nothing for the last 2 weeks now.
Right.
My dreams have returned, and okay, I lay back down to lay down and go to sleep. I said I'm gonna try to astral project. I laid on my back, which is hard to sleep on my back, hard to do. I stayed on my back, so since it's hard to do, as long as I'm comfortable, being in a slightly uncomfortable position will have your mind kind of like thinking on that. But so it'll be hard to just fall straight asleep. So that's what made it do. It made it hard for me to just fall right to sleep. But when I finally came to the state, this is what happened. I entered the realm of where I didn't know I went to the astral realm.
What?
She gets up. She gets up and she's naked. And her back is facing me. She goes into like the corner of the room next to the window. I'm kind of like, I sit up, I'm like, what are you doing?
Right.
And her hair, she had long curly hair. She's kind of thick, like kind of like paler skin because she was like not tanned at all.
Right.
And long red hair. And she like turned around, but it wasn't her face. Her face was like an old woman's face with her body.
What the
And
fuck?
she laid her body on top of mine. Sleep paralysis hits. I can't move now.
What?
And she laying on top of me and she's like humping me over and over, but it's an old woman's face with her body. And I looked to my left where she was sleeping,
Yeah.
and she's still there. I could see her sleeping. I'm trying to like moan and grab, and my astral hand is coming out. I'm trying to poke her
But
to wake up. When I finally get up, I'm back, and I'm back to where I was laying, and nothing ever happened. I'm like, fuck this. I'm going back, cause no, I'm not letting that happen. I'll go back. It happens again. She gets up and I'm talking to her because I didn't realize I entered the astral state. I'm talking. I was like, you want to know what just happened to me? And I started to tell her about it because I had a conversation with her before about it when people try to act like they're into what you're into when you first meet them.
right.
So I was telling her, I was like, I had that thing I was talking about and I seen it. And she's like, I don't give a fuck about that shit.
Damn.
But it wasn't her.
What?
I astral projected again without knowing it.
What?
The energy was so high in a negative way in his house because her mom was everything was going on with. I'm not shitting on her family or nothing, but there's so much negativity and drama going on with everybody. But when everybody's on a positive, you know how people have high energy, because when everything's positive with people, you feel that energy too.
Yeah.
So their energy is just high up. They don't know this. They're unaware.
Yeah.
When the energy is so negative, they're creating like they call it poltergeist in a way.
Right.
Negative energy. So I think they created that atmosphere. The next time I astral projected after that, I did it again, but I was aware when I came out. Since I was aware, I saw these bubbles, the bubbles popping in the room like bubbles. I can't really explain it, but they formed faces. I got up out of my body. I got up. I'm standing. So I go away from the faces. The whole room is filled with faces.
Right.
Like faces like if they were making noises, that's what it looked like, the noise they were making. And okay, that's whatever. I'm like, okay, they're not doing anything. So I walk out of the room, and I go out of the room to my left. Usually, you go out the room. Her room's behind me. You go a little bit. There's nothing right there. There's a bathroom right to the right. There's her parents' room. There's like this little area that used to be like a kitchen or something upstairs, because this used to be like a duplex.
Right.
And then there's the steps that go downstairs. Okay, in the astral, when I walked out there, to my left was a tunnel. An open door that was a long, like, tunnel, like some kind of sewer tunnel or underground type thing. And I saw light at the end of it. So what this represents to me is that, like, when you astral project sometimes, you have to start, just like in anything, you kind of go through this duality You gotta go through darkness to get to the light.
Right.
I had to get out of that place of darkness. A lot of times when I astral project, I'm escaping this realm. Like I call it densities. Like I'm breaking these barriers, and once I get, I'm going out of the darkness.
Well, we'll talk about like there's like all these vibrations.
Yes, yeah, and it makes sense. You're going up vibration, and once you start to go up, those beings or whatever you want to call them, or shadow creatures or whatever you want to call them, they weather away. They cannot go into that light area. I've never seen a shadow being, unless it was just like a trick or something like that. I ain't gonna say I've never seen like dark things in light places. I have, but most likely you know when it's you will feel it. You feel. I can't explain it. But I was going towards that light. I never made it, but I was walking through. I guess floating, you would say, through the tunnel in my astral body.
Right.
And I was almost to the light, and I came back. That was the last time I astral. I did it a few times there. Other than that, that was the main time. And it's like it showed me like the energy levels of a place can definitely affect what you're about to see. Your energy is gonna affect it mostly, so you have to be grounded in yourself. Otherwise, you're gonna fucking be horrified. The first time when she laid on top of me, that was fucking horrifying.
Damn.
It felt physical. It didn't feel like, oh, I'm dreaming of. That happened when I lived at Josh and Jake's. I astral projected there, but I was like in sleep paralysis. I was kind of halfway looking at my body, and I felt like somebody come into the room behind me, and it was this old lady with all these necklaces on with symbols on them. I couldn't really.
It's like The Shining.
I couldn't make out what the symbols was, and she laid her naked breast on top of me, like she laid on me, and her face was just face to face with me, and she was old, and I just screamed. I had to shake myself out of the whole experience. There's no way I'm finna try to astral project. Then there's no way. It was just like no. I don't know where that came from.
What
you know,
the fuck?
In the apartment complex, you got so many energies that could have came from anything. You got.
Yeah.
It could have came from down the street. It could have been somebody who died. It could have been, I don't know what it was.
That's wild.
It's like a sick joke.
That's wild.
I don't know I don't know where that comes from.
Damn. That'd be fucked up.
Yeah, I've seen some horrifying shit. But for the most part, when you learn to astral project, it's a great experience. You get a look into a world that a lot of people know about it, but a lot of people around us in society, and just you walk outside, most likely you're not gonna.
Definitely a lot of people know about it, especially in, today's time.
Oh yeah.
But I do think it's not that well talked about in life.
No, 'cause you can't be at work and just throw it out there. Like my boss, he had a near-death experience, and that's basically how I get hired. Because my boy told him that, well, you need to talk to. He told him that he needed to talk to me, but I have astral projections all the time. And I talked to him. That was basically the interview. I went up there, and he was still in the van. He's like a fucking like conservative guy and loud.
Yeah.
Former military. You would never think that. He said it himself, he was never into none shit like that, and he still ain't. But he said he does now know that for sure that there's life after death. He knows for sure. Because he said he had I think he had a heart attack or something like that. And he said when he had the heart attack, he blacked out.
Yeah.
He was in the ambulance. He said he somehow was in his front yard, and he saw his wife and kids leaving, rushing to go to the hospital to meet where he was.
Oh, shit.
And at that time, when he had the heart attack, they had no idea of knowing that he had a heart attack to rush to meet. But he saw, and like maybe an hour or something, maybe it was when they got contacted to find out, he saw that.
Damn.
Time is not relative. It doesn't matter. It bends the rules of this reality.
That's fine. Yeah, astral projecting, this whole thing, it's like a whole world unto itself. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like this whole other world. I remember when I was a kid and I'd look at these big books in the library. There was like these big splash pages showing images of Jupiter and Saturn, and astral projection sounds just as far out as that shit. You know?
It's actually so much natural, so much more natural than we can conceive. It's a natural thing. It feels like it's a return.
I want to astral project to fucking like Jupiter. I need to get cracking and practicing. Cause like
The day you astral project, I swear, you're gonna do it.
this works.
Man, I can't wait till it happens.
It's probably is to happen because we've been lucid dreaming since fucking before Inception was even like a thing.
Yeah, I've been astral projecting since I can remember. Like I said, I kind of have.
Yeah, you've been doing this since.
And this goes far out with this statement. Sometimes I kind of hold back on saying this a lot of times, but I remember before I was even born. I always had this memory. I would always ask my mom about like, where's those people that took me into the water. I was always asked that. Like I remember it clear as day, but I remember a glimpse, 2 glimpses. I remember walking towards this structure, or being floating towards the structure. I don't really remember, but I was holding something's hand that was very tall.
Right.
And to my knowledge, when I saw nuns, when I got a little older to speak,
Right.
I said that's what they reminded me of. The nuns were the closest thing, 'cause I was a little kid. I was in daycare. I was like 3 years old and stuff. I think it was like maybe a Catholic daycare or something like that with nuns. I remember they used to feed us these cinnamon graham crackers and shit. And sleep on those blue cot things that they would set out for the kids.
Specific.
Yeah, I remember that, and I remember looking at them as like that's. As a kid, you don't know. You just paste to the nearest thing. You're learning reality. So
Right.
at that time, these women were very tall, taller than me, and the creatures were tall. But in their memory, I wasn't myself, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I was something else. I wasn't a human. I was something else. And I remember a hand. I remember the form of a hand holding something, being connected with something, and they were taking me, and it was more than one that pushed me down. Like, it wasn't forceful, but they like helped me go down into something that was like liquidy. That's why I think I'm connected to water so much now, and I dream about water.
Same. Water's a big element in the dreams, doing weird shit. I was just telling Josh about this.
Man, yeah.
And,
Water, definitely. When they pushed me down, it wasn't nothing scary. Maybe I was having a memory of past life, but I don't know. I remember that to this day. I'm 30 years old. I've been remembering this memory. I've been remembering this memory before.
That's insane. I don't even know what to say about that.
I've been astral projecting, just not knowing it until the age of 24 years old. That's when I learned that I was astral projecting. The word astral projecting.
Like there was a name put on it?
Yes, that there was
or
a name
that associated with
I don't see how I knew. That's because the internet, and I wasn't on the internet and stuff like that. I didn't know. Like, I didn't do the research and stuff. I knew about lucid dreaming. I used to call it liquid dreams. Remember I had that story called
yeah.
Fingerprint Dreams, and in the story
Wow! Oh my god! That was like an inside joke.
Yeah.
Fingerprint dreams?
The character called it liquid dreams.
What?
Because I didn't know what to call it. Because he was always around water in the dreams.
No, I'm just spacing in here. But yeah, no, that I actually remember.
Yes.
What? Fingerprint dreams? That was a story that Dominic was working on ages ago when we were young men.
You know, funny, a lot of the things I wrote that dude went through,
Yeah.
I went through after I got older.
You serious?
Yes, situations that he went through, I went through when I got older. And there's some situations I hope I don't go through. But look, there was an instance in the book to where he woke up one day before his girlfriend did,
Right.
and he saw this light beam walking through the house. And he said it walked into a vortex. And he was trying to figure out in the book how to blend the reality of dreams with the reality of waking life. Because he wanted to find this female that he wasn't sure. He was sure she existed for real, but she would always speak in riddles. Like she couldn't give the exact answer. He'd be like, "Where are you from?" And she would say something like, "A distance not too far away."
Right.
And he'd be like, "What the fuck does that mean? Like, who are you? Or do you exist here?" Or he started to do all this research. I was making him do research and stuff that I did not know existed, like the Monroe Institute. I was in the book. I made him go to this place where they put these things on his head and they like did experiments on his brain activity. They did that in the Monroe Institute. They did it with what's his name? I can't think of his name right now. He wrote the Stephen LaBerge.
Oh yeah. Because I read the book of his. What's that Lucid Dreaming book?
I forgot what it's called. Not
Yeah,
Exploring the World of Lucid Dream. Exploring the World of Lucid Dream.
Yeah.
That one. Robert Wagner. That's my favorite Lucid Dream book. Lucid Dreaming. That book. I can't believe I'm getting tired. That's probably why.
Right.
I can't remember the exact
Both getting tired.
name of the book, but I got the audio book. I listened to it twice. I read the book like 3 times.
Shit, I might fall asleep listening to it, but
Yeah. I recommend listening to that one on Audible.
wait, what's the book called again?
It's about Robert Wagner. He has 2 books out. He got one with Catherine something.
Okay.
Don't get that one. That's a great one. Get it eventually one day, but read his first book.
Yeah, I got a bunch of Audible credits.
I got it right
Oh,
here.
yeah.
I can tell you the exact name.
Oh shit, go ahead. Let me see.
Audible is loading.
How many unused credits do we got? Audible.
I need to get some more. So,
I have 6 available credits.
Lucid Dreaming, Gateway to the Inner Self.
Okay, hold on one sec. Lucid Dreaming.
Because in that book, he even explores astral projection, out of body experience. He goes so deep into this is the first book, and probably not the only book of people that go deep like that, but this is the book. He goes so deep in a simple way of how people can communicate with the dead in a dream, and how they can get information and confirm that they actually talk. That's why when next time I talk to my friend in the dream, I need to ask her something that can be confirmed. Cause I'd be so in shock when I see her in a lucid dream, because it can be kind of scary, but at the same time it's not, because I knew her as a person, and we kind of would make jokes about stuff like that. Like if it was kind of fucked up to talk about. We used to always make jokes like, if we died and I'm gonna come back and crawl on a wall like a goddamn lizard, she'd be like, "Oh, you better not do that," and "Oh no, I'm scaring the shit out of you, and you gotta know it's me," and she'd be like, "I'm just gonna come and just check up," and stuff like that. And
You know what? I'm literally about to purchase this with credit. I guess let me fucking credits, as you can see here. Hold on a second. This is the book that he's talking about.
Anybody that's interested in the subject to definitely pick that one up, and also pick up Robert Monroe's Journeys Out of the Body. When you read that book, you know, and you had astral projection or out of body experience, even once, you know, because this man is going into the details about it, the state of vibration, the talking to beings, the trying to visit his father who died, and kind of being afraid to do it. And different. That book is so amazing. Like that book right there, exploring the gateway to the inner self, amazing.
I'm literally purchasing that. I'm buying it with the.
You listen to that book
credit
before bed. It's almost like you're gonna remember shit he's saying. Like if he says something like, "Look at your hands." Look at your hands when you're in a dream. You look at your hands throughout the day in real life. I find myself doing that. The one time I wrote on my hands in real life, I wrote on both hands, "I'm dreaming." I kept looking at it all day, and it worked. Because in the dream, I looked at my hand, and the words materialized on my hands. I'm dreaming. I said, I gotta be dreaming. Because the words just materialized. But anyway, it would have made me, when I looked at my hands, I would have thought about that in the dream. Like, even if I just looked at my hands for nothing, just a sneeze or whatever, if I looked at my hands in the dream, I would have been like, wait. It would have brought that memory. Just by thinking about it on a daily, it's going to bring the memory up in that state. Because you have the same consciousness, you just forget. When you're in the dream state, you don't even know how you got there. So you're just in the middle of driving a car out of nowhere on an airplane. But airplane dreams always horrifying for me.
It's been a while since I had a dream where I was in a fucking airplane.
Because the airplane's always like extra big in my dream. Like you can go fucking get up and go make a sandwich somewhere, or you know, just kind of like walk around. There's different levels, and it's always weirdly built. It's weirdly oddly built, and we're always about to crash.
Ugh.
Out of nowhere, it's like the pilot's like, "All right, get ready for emergency landing." And I'm just like, we always like, what the fuck? And then it's always this moment in a plane to where they open the plane and there's not enough parachutes.
Right.
And I'm like, wait a second, are we literally gonna jump out of the plane? And reality hits me, then I become lucid. I know I'm not gonna, goddamn, I know it's not happening.
Damn.
Another thing that helps me remember dreams, which can also be a distraction, but I fall asleep to this lady named Rosie Thomas, and a lot of people haven't heard of her. She's like a singer-songwriter. For some reason, for the last 10 years, listening to her music, and this may sound like a diss, but it's not at all. Her music can, the melody of her voice puts me into like a state, almost like binaural beats do, because my mind has been listening to it, not just my ears. My mind has been listening to the music so long that it's like a cue.
Oh shit.
To put me in a state. So I can listen to binaural beats, and it can help me, but it may not. But me putting on that, like when I go to sleep, I'm gonna put that music on, because, and so many times I remember dreams just by going back and listening to the last songs I was playing that were in my dreams.
I'm about to put on a nice little audio book, dripped off.
Right.
That's all sorts of stuff. I might listen to that Lucid Dream one. I'm downloading it to my phone right
Yeah,
now.
I recommend listening to you're not gonna want to stop, because the stuff he talks about, it's gonna stay in your mind. It's gonna, the way he puts it, it's gonna just stay in there. Like the way the book starts off. And yeah, it's just gonna. When you're dreaming, it's gonna. Like I was talking to this dude at work, and I don't know how we got on the subject of dreams, but every day he sees me, he's like, "Dude, every time I see you, like he's like, I start to remember something from my dream just by you walking in the room."
Damn.
And he said it now on his own, just by, because every time I see him, I ask him like, "Hey, you remember a dream you had? How's the lucid dreaming going?" He's like, he's like, "I'm starting to." The last time I seen him, he said he had like this weird ass dream to where it was so vivid, and he was talking to the father from Frasier, and he was trying to get him to recognize that he had meaning to his life. He was trying to get somebody else to recognize that they had meaning to their life, and they shouldn't think that their life was worthless and wasted.
Damn. That's fun.
He was like, he didn't really usually remember dreams. He said once he wakes up, that's the thing, when we wake up too. I've learned to wake up now without opening my eyes too. I don't open my eyes. Like I wake up first.
Like you just, like your body just wakes up.
Yes.
You don't even need to open your eyes. You don't need to.
And thinking about it now,
Dom's on a whole new level. I mean, I certainly, my dreams are just as intense, and there's not as many lucid moments, but what you're talking about with this, and the astral and consistent lucid dreaming, and then you're still, like we used to do like dream journals. You're still going with the dream journal. I need to hop back on the horse. And by the way, for people who don't know, it's literally like, let me see,
4:30.
It's like 4:30 a.m. I'm literally downloading.
On the show.
I'm downloading audiobooks, you chumps.
This is like my dream journal, and it goes down, 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 down. I'll just use this because it's so easy to write it. Like I know they say you should use paper, and I've been doing this for years. Wake up, boom, and I do go to sleep. When I do go to sleep, I cut the Wi-Fi off on most of my devices.
Yeah.
Cause I don't want the signal. I'm really kind of paranoid about that, and I don't sleep next to my phone. I put my phone all the way over there, even though it's in the same room, but it's not like right next to me.
Right.
So I don't want nothing. I think the frequencies from Wi-Fi and anything, I think it does interfere with us in a way. I think that those frequencies are also manipulating reality in a way. That's why we think that, and this is about to get to a little far-fetched subject, but
Dude,
we think that they're controlling us by media and stuff like that. They're not just controlling us by media and all that. They're controlling us by frequencies. They use that technology in the military, like with frequencies and stuff like that, to weaken the enemy, weaken their subconscious without them knowing it. Cause how they gonna know that subconscious was weak? It's like you got depressed out of nowhere. You don't know why,
oh shit.
and you're just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go back to sleep. Then they come in and kill you because you're sleeping.
That would be fucking weird. Like they press a button and everybody in a building got depressed
Imagine,
and drowsy,
think about them doing that to
like emotionally exhausted. What the fuck?
maybe think about if they wanted to control the masses, and the people didn't have no say about it. They could control it with the cell towers and 5G. Cause everybody's gonna get it. Most people are gonna get it because they're not aware.
Dang.
The people don't care. They're not aware of that stuff. So when they start wondering why they feel like maybe more tired, or maybe why am I having more suicidal thoughts out of nowhere? Why am I feeling like, why are we arguing so much out of nowhere? That could be part of it. Why are we dependent on something? Dependent on something else. We don't understand why. They created this reality because they know those secrets, those quote unquote secrets.
Well, like design. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like reality is like a geometric grid. You can almost see it, especially when you're like drowsy like this. If you look into the air and just kind of stare blankly without moving, without focusing on anything, you will see that your perception changes and reality starts to change visually.
I know, like Joe Rogan was talking about, like when he was on DMT, and he would see like all these geometric weird shapes in the air, twisting and bending, and it's like.
I think that DMT opens the door to something that's already there.
Right.
It just opens the doorway for you to walk through without you having to go through the meditation or happening for it to spontaneously happen. And I've been privileged to just have it spontaneously happen so much since I've been a kid. Waking up on the ceiling, like Ryan Cropper said in that one video, how he woke up on the ceiling and he could feel the breath on the ceiling.
Yeah.
That's happened to me. I've woken up like that and I've seen hands come through the ceiling.
What?
And I told my mom, in my way of perceiving that back then, was that I was dying. I thought that I was being taken away. My mom was like, "Oh, you better pray," and stuff like that. So I thought that I was being like, hands came out of the ceiling.
Like, Jesus Christ, like you're fucking dying and shit. It's like, no.
See, back then from astral projection, I used to always, I didn't know what it was called, one thing, and when I did astral project, I used to kind of like describe it as being like a balloon bouncing around the room. I had no control. And it was scary, and I wanted it to stop. Once I fucking figured out in 2014, it took that long, that I could control it. I could literally climb out of my body when I had sleep paralysis. It was this video I stumbled across. I had astral projection that was forced. I don't know if I told you about the beings, and I'm not even gonna get into all that, but I was forced out of my body, and I was taken out of my body, just like how they say with alien abduction. I was taken through the window into the sky, and these beings that look like owl, but they don't look. Closest thing I can say is owl. They weren't owls, and they were singing, like, doing this humming thing, and they were floating around me. And while they're floating around me, I'm in the middle, floating, and we go so high up that we're not in St. Louis. We're not fucking nowhere near here. We're somewhere where I'm looking at the mountains in the Arctic and stuff like that, and I'm seeing giant trees and plants that do not exist. In the there's places in the mountains. I'm seeing like Asian looking 18th century type houses in the mountains too.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm dying, and it felt so good. And I started to feel myself drift back down, and I went back through the window into my body. And I was already woke. I was already up. And I was staring at the window already. My eyes never opened. They were already open. I was already staring at the window that I came through. There was no, I opened my eyes and then I looked at the window, I was already staring at it. As I floated down to my body, there was no between state of me doing that. It was already like, I'm back. Like as if like if I'm sitting here right now. And I think that's why now, like over the years, I'll wake up and I'll be in the middle of talking.
Right.
There's been times, like, and it's kind of embarrassing when you're at somebody's house. With Maggie, my girlfriend, she kind of like understands a little bit. She's not like freaked out. She knows I'm kind of weirdo type person, so it's not like, what the fuck are you doing? Like I woken up with my hands reaching to something.
Ugh.
And that used to be the scariest thing. I was like, what was I reaching towards? And I felt I was in that state of mind. My state of mind was different. It wasn't like, oh shit, I'm waking up when I first wake up. There's been times I woke up and I couldn't remember nothing. I didn't remember who I was. I was just like, wait, what? I was just like, what is this? Where am I? What is this? I was starting to freak out.
Like you woke up in this waking reality, like confused because you spent all this time in this dream or this astral state reality, and I think again Joe Rogan, he was talking about or no, he was talking about a buddy of his that done like a salvia trip, and like he had this trip where he spent like 5 months like in this different timeline, different reality, totally different friends, different life, family, and then waking life he just had been fucking probably borderline convulsing for like 10 minutes. But
right.
I was just like, what the fuck?
A lot of my astral projections, they happen in the time span of like 10 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
It's amazing, man.
That's fucking insane, though. Like, to think that, like, you could, like, live, like, this whole, like, in Inception, like, live, like, 50 years or something in a dream or in this other state.
There's been times where I tried to stay. Like, whether it was lucid dream or astral projection, I tried to be, like, I tried to ask people that seemed like guides, whatever you want to call it, people that had an intelligence that was beyond just a dream character.
Right.
And they seemed to know something. I remember at my uncle. I remember at my uncle's house. I was at Uncle Carl's house, in his regular house. And
right.
I didn't know I was dreaming until I looked out the window, and I saw the ocean.
What?
I said, "Wait a minute, no."
Wait, you did. Wait. You're saying you're at Uncle Carl's house, and you didn't know you were in a dream until you looked out the fucking window and you saw the goddamn ocean.
I didn't think nothing about the ocean because I didn't know I was dreaming. I'm thinking I'm at Uncle Carl's house, gonna make some food.
This might be the best little improv podcast.
Oh yeah.
All time.
We'll have to do more of these.
It's literally, God, I'm about to show you so you know that like we're not bullshitting, and you're about to see why the fucking night vision's out, boys. Look at this. Hold on. Look at that. Okay, it's 4 a.m. guys. Okay, it's literally.
It's the spirit hour we're in right now.
Look at this. Look, and you can see I just purchased that Lucid Dream book. When it decides to fucking focus. There we go. By Robert. Look at that. Shout out to Robert.
Well, look up some YouTube videos, interviews with Robert. I've actually spoken with him.
See, look, proof that it's 4 a.m. You mucks.
He's very active on like Facebook and stuff. He'll talk to you. Me and him was having like a back and forth because me and Robert, he knows all about the shit.
Right.
I would like to talk to him in person. I want to know about I want to know his take on, like, astral projection, like, really his take on it. He wrote about it a little bit in the book, but...
Wait, you're saying it's easy to speak with Robert?
Yeah, it's easy to speak with him. Me and him was kind of going back and forth, not, like, in I'm trying to say this, 'cause I had, like, an opinion on something that somebody wrote on why, and I could have been wrong at that time, I don't know, but, in this thing, there is no right or wrong. There's no right or wrong. No one can say, no, that's not how you do it. You do it this way. No, you may do it that way, and I do it this way. And we can teach each other. Maybe you find your niche. Or you wake up at 5 o'clock, go back to sleep at 6:30. It may be your way of astral projecting. Because your mind is kind of woke. Somebody else may do it before you go to sleep. It's no right or wrong way to do these. There's no right or wrong because nobody has the manual. The manual does not exist here when it comes to. We do not know. We're only breaching. We're not even breaching the surface. Yeah. This shit, yeah. Breaching the surface would be when I can just go astral project while I'm still talking to you, and a part of me is astral projecting at the same time.
Okay, that would be like Tony Stark level, like skill. It's like we're having a conversation, you're like.
I send a percentage of myself to go talk to, let's say, somebody named Janet in the Astral while I'm talking to you. I send about 15% of myself to go talk to her and bring back the memory of it. Me and her can kiss and everything, but we never kissed or met in real life. Imagine it's gonna get to that point.
What?
Let's meet at the Eiffel Tower.
And so wait. You're saying what if one day you or most of us got to this point where like we reached that Tony Stark level with the Astral? Just like fucking at a party and we can like go in the bathroom real quick, Astral projects, come right back. That's the craziest fucking thing I've ever heard.
That's what I'm saying.
What the fuck?
I think it's about time to go to bed. I just felt that that shudder when you went to sleep for like half a second. That's what I felt. That whole shudder.
We're gonna be back, boys.
Hey, we should definitely